You're watching the Dylan Joe Show.
Cool. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for coming here.
Yeah, sure.
So I got to ask some food recommendations. I think the first most important thing is we're in Austin. So Buc-ee's, Terry Black's, Franklin's, are they hype or are they actually quality, and which one is the best?
They're all great. Have you been to any of them?
We actually went to Terry Black's.
Yeah, Terry Black's is a hearty meal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terry Black's is great. Franklin's is an institution, and Buc-ee's, of course. As far as gas stations go, it's as good as it gets. It's like I hate to say our, like I'm from down here, but it's our Wawa.
Yeah.
Wawa,
like the hoagies and all that.
Yeah, I miss Wawa, but yeah, Buc-ee's is kind of like the Wawa of the South, and it's creeping north as Wawa creeps south. So the good and the dark and the light will meet at some point. It's like The Stand. The great showdown is coming, of Buc-ee's and Wawa. But those are spots that everybody loves down here, and they're great spots.
I mean, I heard that Franklin's, like, if you go there, you're waiting on a line a long ass time.
Yeah, there's like tricks to getting around the lines. Not getting around them, but like people know the times when to go to beat the lines. I don't ever know. I always just kind of dice roll it. But yeah, Franklin's does have a line a lot. I feel like Terry's has a line too, but maybe it moves a little faster.
Yeah.
Terry's, I feel like, is bigger. So
looks like an attraction.
It does kind of, right? It's a big place, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of the barbecue spots get lines, as do a lot of the places that serve brunch on Sundays. But I'm not a big brunch guy, thank God. So that's never really a problem for me.
Brunch is like for women, you think, right?
No, I didn't say that. It's just not for me. I don't want half a menu, and I certainly don't want half a menu where everything is some weird fusion of lunch and breakfast combined, some kind of pancake cheeseburger or some shit like that. And the cocktails at brunch to me are not intriguing. Mimosas don't excite me. Bloody Marys, one is fine. I don't need bottomless. Champagne sucks. So there's just nothing about brunch I really like.
If you're gonna take like an easier route, like you don't want to go too heavy into the barbecue, we're actually tonight we're looking for like a nice, easy steakhouse type place to go, but we're not trying to, break the bank at like a Eddie V's or something like that. Where do you think we should go?
I would go to Eddie V's.
Eddie V's?
Yeah.
Say screw it, we're here.
Yeah, man. It's the original Eddie V's. It's awesome. It's one of my favorite places in town. You can sit right at the bar and order food, and not that you can't do that in other restaurants, but Eddie V's, there's a certain charm to me about sitting at the bar, getting food, martinis and stuff. I really love Eddie V's.
Yeah.
I know the staff fairly well, and that's one of my spots. That's a regular spot for me.
Nice. Close to the mothership, right?
Yeah, it's not too far. I think it's like 3 blocks or something. But there's a lot of great places here. You got Red Ash, which is like an Italian steakhouse.
Red Ash.
That's tough Red Ash is tough to get into. But Red Ash, Sammy's is great, an Italian restaurant.
Red Ash, you got to know a guy? Red Ash?
It's unless you want to make a reservation a month in advance or something. Well, but Red Ash again too is a place. Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I was going to say you can go in and sit at the bar. I don't know if you can. I don't know how crowded the bar gets. But Sammy's is great, Italian. There's no shortage of taco trucks, authentic taco trucks and whatnot.
Saw a lot of that.
There's tons.
Yeah.
There's a great place called, I think it's called a Million to One.
A million to one, like
Yeah.
Juan, the guy's name.
It's either a million to one or one in a million. I can never remember. I get it mixed up. But anyway, that's an old taco joint here in Austin. That's great. You know,
Alrighty.
some pretty classic stuff going on there. You know, there's great cuisine down here. It's different. You know, it's a different array of cuisine. It's a different, you know, the East Coast where I'm from and where you guys are based, you know, it's very Italian heavy, which is great. Chinese food is much more prevalent there than it is here, I would say. There's, you know, it's much greater in pizza and sandwich culture and that sort of thing. Not that there's not that here, but it's just different here. Like their pizza here is barbecue, you know.
Yeah.
They're like cheesesteaks here. It's barbecue, and they're like hoagies or it's tacos, you know. Like so, it's just different. But they're all foods I love, so you know. And it also makes going home fun because I get to tap back into the back home stuff.
Yeah.
And then I come here and I tap into this, and it's great. It's really great.
I'll say this, sometimes you go to like one of those fancy restaurant places and they have like a list of all different, you know, ingredients of what it is. And if you're getting something simple like you know, because our audience, we're Jersey, you know, food snobs and all that.
Sure, yeah.
So like you're a food connoisseur, but you could probably
not a connoisseur, just a pig. Just like to eat.
But that I think is kind of better when you're looking at the menu and you see like all this stuff that says aioli and like reduction. Don't you think those words are kind of like aioli is like a word?
Aioli is a bad word to me. Aioli is a bad word to me. I don't like aioli. I don't like. And
reduction.
Sorry, my phone's going off here.
Reduction is like just call it sauce.
Yeah. Well, I don't like flavored mayonnaise. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't. You know, call me crazy, which is that's. I guess that's what aioli is at its core. I like mayo sometimes, and if it's something I want mayo on, I just want mayo. I don't like garlic and all these other things put into it. I can't explain why. I just don't. And yeah, reduction. I never even knew what that meant. But you're right. It's kind of just sauce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to just go back to basics, I think.
Yeah. It's I don't know. The reason I'm a bigger street food fan than you know the higher end stuff is I in a fancier restaurant I kind of feel like I'm going to get in trouble the whole time. I feel like I'm going to do something wrong, you know, and I'm going to I feel like you get the same feeling like when you're at a very proper dinner party.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of want to make sure you don't spill this or you don't put your fork in the wrong place because then you look like you don't understand how all of this works. And, you know, it just feels stuffy. You keep your voice to a certain level and you stick to certain subject matters because, you know, we're in a place where we don't use certain language and all. I don't like the feeling. I like the feeling of it's loose. People are having a good time, you know. People are indulging. That's the other thing I feel like you can't do. Well, you can, but it's just something I don't feel that's easy to do in a higher end restaurant a lot of the time is indulge.
Yeah, because they give you this small little thing in a giant plate.
It's that, yeah, it's a lot of that. And then it's also too, if you're like, I'm still hungry, like, or I want more, that seems to be an uncouth thing to do.
Yeah.
In a fancy restaurant. Whereas, you know, you go up to a taco truck, you're like, man, I'm starving. I want to try that one, you know? You go up to a pizza truck or a sandwich truck. You go, I want these 3 because I want to try all this right now, and I'm hungry and whatever. Like, it's just a different vibe. You know, you're sitting with your friends. You're probably drinking, or having a beer, or even if you're not. You know, there's something about soda that lets you cut loose more than, you know, fine wine. And you know, it's casual. People are wearing shorts. People are in t-shirts. People are, you know, I like the street foods.
Yeah. You don't want to look over your shoulder when you're trying to enjoy a meal.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, also, what am I trying to say? I feel like there's less to understand with the street foods. You know, like if a burger's good and it's great, it's great. You don't have to explain why it's great.
Yeah.
You know, and also, you know, too, I know that this tastes good. I know that this is awesome. I know that anybody that likes this kind of food is going to taste this and say this is awesome. So I can recommend this to all my friends that like this kind of stuff. I feel like when you start to get into higher end stuff, the palate starts to play a bigger role, and you know, again, your reductions and all these things. You know, how refined are you? How, you know, do you really understand the notes of this flavor? And you know, I like wine, but it gets into that wine territory. You know, where it's like there's a judgment that happens when you recommend a wine to somebody. There just is. There's a judgment. It's they're either going to approve of your taste or they're not. And that doesn't really happen with a shot and a beer.
Yeah.
So despite liking some of these things, I will always gravitate towards the shot and the beer.
You got to get the easy thing.
Approach. Simple pleasures, man. You know, simple pleasures. Life is short. I don't want to chase the golden goose to try to find the best thing in the world, and it's so rare, and you got to go over here, and they only have it on Tuesdays from 2 to 3 in the morning, and you know, the animal was, you know, had opera singers singing to it for 8 months before it was put to sleep while eating its favorite last meal. And it's like, all right,
it's all hype.
Yeah, come on,
it's all fluff.
Yeah, I'm hungry, let's go eat, let's have fun, I want to be full. Life is short.
Now what about, like, because you said that this area, this is where you go to get the barbecue, like this is where the Mexican food is going to be good. But
here in California, yeah, California too, obviously.
Yeah, like the Southwest and all that. Mm-hmm. But I noticed that if you're over here, it's kind of rare to even come by someone trying to pull off like Middle Eastern food. And I know you're Italian American, but like
I'm Egyptian. I'm adopted by Italian Americans.
So you're Egyptian by blood.
Yeah, but that's how. Yeah, but that's kind of how I identify as the Italian thing, because that's how I was raised. Yeah.
Do you ever have like an instinctual craving for like a hot kebab or something like that?
No. Once in a while, yeah, you know, but no. I like that kind of food, but I was never like massively into it. So
yeah. But
you're right. It's that Indian food is more rare here. Mediterranean food is more rare here. You know, Greek and whatever, and Asian. Other Asian foods, like meaning like Chinese, Thai, Japanese, they're here, but they're rare.
They're not into the spice as much.
I think it's more just, my assumption is it's more just about, you know, over the decades of immigration and where people wound up.
Yeah. More
so than anywhere else. And I'm just assuming there weren't a ton of Asian immigrants to Texas. Maybe I'm wrong, but my assumption would be that that's probably why. There's a lot of Asian people in New York.
Yeah, a lot of Asian New Yorkers.
Yeah. So you're gonna get a lot more of that food. Chinese I miss, but I find that Chinese in the States is very different from real Chinese food. I felt that New York had both. I felt like in New York you could get both real Chinese and also Americanized Chinese. And I felt like New York had pretty much best case scenarios for both of those. For being in the States, I mean. I miss that greatly. I really, really miss that. That's something that's, I love Chinese food. I love both kinds of Chinese food.
You've been to China?
Yeah, a couple times.
Did you ever try that camel hump?
No.
I heard that's pretty big over there.
Yeah, no, I didn't eat the camel hump. I did eat, but I did have real Peking duck over there, which was pretty nuts.
Whoa.
That was cool.
Nice. What's like the weirdest food that you've ever consumed? I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. Skankfest doesn't count.
I don't have one, man. Honestly, gator's the weirdest thing I ever ate, and I ate that the first time I was in Texas when I lived here in 2000. That's it. I really don't have. I never ate, like stink fruit or any of these things you see on these travel shows.
Stink fruit.
Fermented fish or anything like that. I've never eaten anything like that. What about you?
I went over to Japan one time. And then they gave me a plate of this like delicacy, they said it was, and it was cod sperm, and they call it shirako, and that translates to white child.
Jesus, what did it taste
cod
like?
Sperm. It was actually pretty good. I went back to have it again.
What did it look like?
It looked like, it's weird because it's cod sperm, but it looked like brains. And then all my friends ripped me when I got back home. They're like, "Oh, you're gay," and all this stuff, eating sperm.
Well,
I've had lamb brain too. That's actually not bad.
Wait, but was it a massive accumulation of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so weird. Yeah.
It's almost like roe. Like, you know how salmon roe is like the egg? It's like the same thing, but like the male counterpart.
Wow. And what did it taste like?
It tasted creamy.
But like in a dessert way, or like a
kind of like a savory.
So
like very like salty and creamy.
Like a pate almost, or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's all natural, so like they don't add anything to it.
Wow. And then you had lamb brains?
Lamb brains, yeah.
What did that taste like?
That, I don't know how it's supposed to taste. I have a Palestinian like butcher in my hometown, so I saw it and I'm like, I want to try that kind of. So I cooked it at home. I don't know how they're supposed to do it though, but it kind of tastes like egg. Like
that's what I always thought it would taste like.
Yeah.
It looks like egg.
Yeah.
Would you eat that again, or was it just?
I would, because it's cheap.
Okay.
So like, if I need something quick and inexpensive, I'll go for some lamb brain.
How do you cook it?
I guess really.
Excuse me.
Really thoroughly, because someone said like if you eat it, you might get mad lamb disease.
Yeah, there's always been rumors about if you eat brains of animals, there's different things, terrible things that can happen to you.
Yeah.
But who the fuck knows? I don't know if any of it's true. But yeah, I've seen calves' brains and stuff in the store. I've just never tried it. I've had tripe, which tasted good. But yeah, I haven't really eaten much wild stuff.
Yeah. Like organs and whatnot.
No.
Yeah.
No need. No need.
I know you make like, you're into like the DIY, like tacos and whatnot. And your band is called Salsa Windfall.
Yeah.
Do you think that you'd say that maybe like out of nationalities go, Mexican is like up there, like one of the top?
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never ranked the nationalities, but yeah, I enjoy the Mexican culture. Yeah, and Salsa Windfall was named after we were eating tacos. We made a bunch of the El Paso kit. And we got tortilla chips, we got Tostitos and salsa, and we were eating after we recorded some of our first songs, and we said, what should we call this? And Paul, my bandmate, said Salsa Windfall, and that was it.
But you thought he was talking about a fart joke, right?
I did, because at the time I was 18, 19, I don't remember how old I was, but I didn't know what windfall meant. I'd never heard the word before. That was the first time I'd ever heard the word windfall. And I thought he was like, yeah, like a wind, a heavy wind.
So Salsa Windfall goes back like pretty far. I guess you were in college?
It's the thing I've done longer than anything in my life.
Nice.
Yeah, outside of collecting, like, you know, cassette tapes and stuff like that. But it's the longest thing I've ever been a part of. Yeah, it's 30, Jesus. I think 30 years, I think I turned 49 soon. I think somewhere in between 49 and 50 for me will be 30 years. And we're still going. We just, you know, we have a new record out and
Big strong bottle.
yeah. And we did the theme song for the podcast here, and then we're doing shows soon somewhere. It's a little tough
Yeah, I was
pulling
gonna
off the
ask
music
about
shows. Well, they don't pay. You make a little bit of money, cover your expenses, but music shows it's, you know, comedy has I'm not saying I don't want to do them because they don't pay. I'm just saying they're hard to do because they don't pay. Because when you have to go do work, like Paul's a chef and I'm a comedian, you have to really figure out, okay, when can I afford to not work to do this other thing that's part of my work in a way, but like doesn't really generate much income.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort.
So they're just harder to pull off. Like we really want to do we'd love to do a run, like a tour, but you just can't. I don't know how. I mean, obviously, if you're an established band and you sell tons of tickets, there's a way to do it. But I do not know how indie bands do it. You know, a lot of them will say, "Well, we get in the van and we drive," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't have a van, so I got to buy a van." So that's $30,000 or something. You know, I'm like, I don't fucking know. How do you do this?
You think your comedy fans would kind of be the guys to buy the tickets on the road, like if you won on the road?
They do. We've done shows, and the comedy fans primarily are the ones that come out. And I've combined it once or twice with my own stand-up, where you do like a double bill.
Like you open up for yourself, kind of.
Yeah, or I do stand-up and then we play. Yeah, but I don't know. Hannibal Buress did that with his rap thing. He would do like a stand-up show, and then they'd take an hour off or something, and then he would do the music. So maybe I'll give that a shot. I don't know. It's tough.
Before we jump back into the episode, a quick thank you to today's sponsor, Everyday Dose. After a fun night of dining out, the next morning can sometimes feel a little foggy. If you're looking for a coffee to help you wake up and get your day started, what better way than with Everyday Dose? It's a coffee blend made with premium coffee and functional ingredients like mushroom extracts and collagen, making it a great addition to your morning routine. Dylan Joe loves having it before he dives into a new painting or chatting it up with a fellow creative. It's an easy way to kick off his day and yours. If you want to give it a try, we've got a special link for you. You'll get an extra $10 off your first order when you use our link in the show notes. Or head to https://www.everydaydose.com/DylanJoe@Erpangian. Thanks again to Everyday Dose for sponsoring today's episode. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
Have you ever opened up for other bands, like comedy-wise? I know, like Jim Brewer, he opened up for Metallica for a while.
Yeah, Jim. No, I haven't yet. I'm trying to think. Have I? No. But we've gotten to perform with some musicians that we really like. Mainly 7L and SO from Czarface. They're good friends of ours.
Nice.
So that's been cool. But no, not really. No. I keep saying no in a different way. No, I've not opened for any bands. I'd like to. I think I'd like to. I don't know if I'd like to. Because it seems really hard. And it seems like the music audience doesn't really always want to see comedy.
Yeah, they're there for the band.
Yeah, but like a guy like Brewer going out in front of Metallica, I feel like there's crossover there. I feel like Metallica fans know who Jim Breuer is.
Yeah.
Jim Breuer fans are probably all Metallica fans. So and he's quite established or famous, whatever. So like it's like I feel like he's in a different position than I would be. I feel like I would be I would have to go out in front of like an acoustic band whose audience sits at tables and really wants to just listen. and everything is very calm, and I can just kind of, tell my jokes and whatever.
But you've done stadiums. You were at MSG. I saw you there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but those are comedy shows.
Yeah.
So, like, doing Kill Tony at MSG or opening for Shane at the, what's it called? City Center. Like, that's different. It's a comedy show.
Yeah.
They're there for comedy. And again, I have a shot at some of those people knowing who I am because they're comedy fans.
Yeah.
And then also there's the Philly connection with Shane, all that stuff. So that's very, very different. But, if it's Metallica in the arena in Philly and I go out and they don't know who the fuck I am.
It's like an angry mob. Almost.
And I'm like, listen to my jokes. That could go very awry. But it's never going to happen, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I was actually talking to some of your crew before, and I was talking about last night I went to that place, Seaboys. I went there to see the Kill Tony band. They were just playing there.
Oh, yeah.
It was pretty good. I was thinking, like, Salsa Windfall's got to come here. That'd be
We're going to do a show here. We're definitely going to do a show here, I hope before the end of the year. We're definitely going to do New Orleans before the end of the year. We just don't have the specific dates announced yet. And again, I have to fucking adjust it around my touring, which is a pain in the goddamn ass. And then Paul has to get off from work as a chef. So, which is a pain. Maybe it's not a pain for him. I don't particularly love traveling. So, I have to make sure. I love doing shows. I don't love traveling. So I kind of always have to make sure that I'm not stacking too many travel dates in a row, because I will hit a wall, and my brain will kind of shut off, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, you're fried, and I don't want that to happen. So I have to be logistically careful the way I book the road for stand-up or for music. So like if Paul and I ever did get to do the run we would like to do, it needs to be isolated and by itself. I can't do 2 weeks on the road of stand-up and then go another week into. It's just too much.
Yeah.
I'm too old. It's too much on your body and your brain after a certain point, because you don't live healthy on the road. It's a great excuse to eat all the fast food that you try not to eat.
All the Buc-ee's.
Yeah, it's a great excuse to eat a bunch of junk, but that's not the best thing for you to do for your body.
If I were to say what your band kind of reminds me of, like as far as sound,
sure,
I think it's like a blend of like Ween and Devo, if that makes any sense. Because we reference those bands a lot. Oh yeah.
Devo, especially for our last record, Devo was a massive influence.
Nice.
And Ween, we kind of started when we started. We were Ween fans.
Yeah.
And we really liked bands that did that thing where it was like two guys with minimal equipment getting the most out of it. So Ween was a big one for us. Early They Might Be Giants was a big one for us. We have 4 or 5 EPs we recorded that we haven't released anywhere. That's all the first run of stuff that we ever did, and it's very much way more in the vein of Ween, the early Ween, the really early Ween.
Yeah.
and that sort of thing, where it's like drum machine, guitar, vocals, 4-track recordings, that kind of stuff.
And each song, it's kind of like a roll of the dice because they're all kind of different feels as far as like genre and whatnot.
Yeah, that was our thing, and so we have 2 records online right now. So Artificial Birth was the earlier of the 2. That record follows a little more of because it's still the same setup, really. It's just instead of a Casio drum machine / keyboard, we use Logic, but that's the new drum machine. And instead of it having 10 instruments you can play, it's got 1,000, whatever the hell's in there. So that's really the only difference. It's still Paul putting down the guitar parts and doing the backup vocals, and it's still me doing the lead vocals and the drum programming. Like that's, but it's except now we can layer synths and all these other things on top of the drums. Like that's really the only difference. We work the exact same way we always did, which is great.
Yeah.
It is truly my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do. No disrespect to comedy. Comedy's been great to me, and I love doing it. And comedy is my life. But it is really great to be able to. I don't know. It's just there's something about the process of creating music and with another person, because comedy is very solitary.
Yeah.
It's nice to sit with somebody who's not somebody you just admire, but also one of your best friends. You guys get each other, you work well together, you feed well off each other.
You edit each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of open criticism that's not mean, or where if we give each other notes, we know it's to get us to a better place with the product.
And it's a good changing of tracks. Like if you're doing too much comedy, you got to take a break. Then you go to the music, and then it might help when you come back to comedy, maybe.
Yeah. No, you have to take breaks. Which kind of funny brings me back to food. Like you have to take breaks from anything you're doing in life, whether it's your standard day-to-day of your career or just your standard routine of whatever. I think too strict of, I think regimen can be a good thing. It can help keep you sane. It can help keep you healthy. But I think too much adherence to regimen is not good. And I think you need breaks so you can let the brain reappreciate the thing that you do with regularity.
Yeah.
So I do that with the band, absolutely.
And like going back to get some New York pizza. You haven't had it in a while?
That or even too, just being like, man, it's been a busy week. I'm just, I'm gonna these next couple days, I'm gonna dig in. I'm gonna eat some foods that I really like, that are comforting to me, whatever. And that's why I also say, like, food can be its own like little vacation, it's its own little escape, which is another reason I like the blue collar stuff far more than I like the fine dining. I like to go sit and have a dinner, but even like we were talking about Eddie V's is a tried and true steakhouse. Yeah. Like that doesn't feel, it's a nice place. It doesn't feel stuffy though. So you go to Eddie V's, you sit at the bar, you talk to the bartender.
Yeah.
He's a great dude. You have a martini.
It's clean.
People are talking, laughing. It's you're talking to people at the bar. It's like that to me is not what I mean when I say I don't like a nice experience. Like that's a nice place, but it feels communal.
Yeah.
It feels real. I don't like stuffy, and stuffy to me is not an escape. It's not really fun. It's not an indulgence. And it doesn't, in my opinion, give you the break that you're looking for from your routine. It's just like now you've got to leave. You're trying to get a break from the thing you're always planning to now plan to go do this, because that's a bunch of planning. We got to get the reservation this far in advance because nobody would, and they only seat this many people, so the party has to be this, and who should we invite because it's this, blah, 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 and their menu has these things, which, which should we get? It's like, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, it's. I need a break. Let's go to the picnic table next to the food truck and get a bunch of shit.
Talking about food though, and no pressure, but taste buds, is that coming back soon, you think?
It will at some point. It will. Sal and I reunited, did a mini one last Christmas in Phoenixville, PA at my show. It will. It will. We've talked about it at length. He's said on podcasts, as have I, it will come back. It's just time. It's like, you can't commit to something unless you can honor the commitment. So I don't want to do it and not be able to deliver.
There was this one episode that I was painting too while I was listening to it. I was listening to one of the episodes. I don't know how far back it was, but I had to turn it off because I was honestly getting mad for you. It was with you and Sal were talking about candy bars, and he kept going on about how M&M's is a candy bar.
Yeah, to this day, that's the argument that makes me the maddest.
Yeah, it was getting me pissed. I had to turn it off.
Yeah, I still don't understand what he was talking about. I actually want to bring that up to him just in regular life and ask him, I'm assuming he meant it. None of it was faked like that. We meant the arguments, so I'm assuming he meant that. But I am curious if he's changed his tune. And
maybe he grew from that point.
It's such an insane thing to say, but I just don't understand. I don't get it. Anyway, yeah, that to this day, that's still the argument that makes me the most frustrated.
Talking about sweet stuff, what is your favorite style of cookie? I like boneless. What do you think?
Boneless?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
It's it's raw in the middle and it's crispy on the outside.
Oh, is that called boneless?
I mean, I don't know. I call it that.
Okay.
It's a little boneless.
You like an undercooked,
yeah, a little raw.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love cookies like that. Wait, do you mean is style like that or flavor?
Just the style, chocolate chip. Sugar,
chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip?
Yeah, yeah.
Gotta go with classic.
Yeah, I don't think any cookie, in my opinion, beats chocolate chip, which funny enough was our first taste buds, was Chips Ahoy versus Oreos. I thought I was going to win by a landslide because I was like, chocolate chip cookies are the great, that is the king cookie.
Yeah. Oreos is too much chocolate if you're going to go cookie.
It's not a bad cookie. It's just, I'm just but it's a specific type. Chocolate chip cookie it's like pizza,
yeah,
or vanilla ice cream, or so. It's a very wide whatever. So I thought, by default, that Chips Ahoy was a chocolate chip cookie. It would win the argument, and it got slaughtered. It didn't win.
That's weird. Otherwise, you would have seen Cookie Monster slamming a bunch of Oreos. That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think it was people's beef more with Chips Ahoy than chocolate chip cookies. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, it'll be back at some point, man. So, nice. Yeah.
Your special, I Never Promised You a Rose Garden, master class, comedy lecture. It was so cinematic. How did you memorize all that stuff?
Oh, that's just memorizing. It's comedy.
It's going back and forth, and I'm like, this is true art right here.
Oh, thanks, man. That's really nice. I appreciate that. You just learn how to memorize. It's part of the job.
Yeah.
I take a set list on stage with me most nights because I'm always changing stuff around and trying something different or whatever. So I usually have a set list so I can make sure I remember everything I want to talk about. But that was easy. The more it came together, that was actually easier to memorize because there was structure. Structure makes it easier.
And the way it was shot, it was like a Stanley Kubrick movie almost.
I was very proud of how that all turned out. I'm very happy with that final product. I'm very, very happy with that final product. It turned out exactly how I pictured it in my head.
Yeah.
Which is rare. But I've been lucky. I've gotten to do my last 2 specials. I've been able to direct them and bring out the vision that I want, and I've been lucky enough to have people around me that want to help me bring it to life and are great to work with, so that's been nice.
And you're working on new stuff now, I guess you have to, right? How does that feel to work on some new stuff?
Yeah, I'm working on new stuff. I don't know. I don't know. I've got plenty of new shit, and I'm doing it, and it works, and I like it. But post special, I always feel a little weird, because the nature of comedy is it's like a shark's life of, you got to keep moving forward or you'll die. You got to keep moving.
Yeah.
So there is this thing where you kind of have to keep pushing forward after you put a special out, and so I never am quite. I'm in that weird period right now where what I'm doing is working and I like it, but I'm not sure if it's the thing to capture for the next special, or if there's another thing coming that I'm not aware of yet, or so that's why those breaks we were talking about are important. You have to get away from it and then re-look at it and go, oh, okay. One thing I'm thinking about doing is updating some of my older material. I think that could be interesting, to take some older stuff and revamp it and apply it now to
the way the world has changed.
Yeah.
So like fine tuning.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about doing that. That could be an interesting project. I don't know, There's just so much. There's so much content out there, and the way it's delivered is so different now. You wonder, is it, do you even need to pursue the traditional route anymore of a stand-up special, or should you just start releasing things differently in shorter, faster bursts? I don't know. So all of these things, that's the only reason I'm kind of going like, I'm working on new stuff. It's not to undercut the new stuff I'm doing, or it's not to insinuate that I don't believe in it. I do. But the landscape is changing so rapidly these days. I'm not sure what the best mode of delivery or creation is, because that last special took 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're in that world anymore, I really don't, so who knows? I don't know. It's a big question mark, which is why I'm doing a podcast.
Yeah. But the rapid change could make for some good new material.
Well, I'm using this podcast now for a massive outlet. This is a good outlet. This is a really good outlet to kind of puke out stuff that's occurring to me every week, that I'm not quite sure if it makes sense to try to convert into stand-up material, but I am sure it's stuff I could talk about to an audience. So this pod is allowing for that. It's allowing for a very new palette for me that I never really had. Every podcast I've ever done was themed. Not that this is themed, but it was themed with guests or co-host.
Yeah.
I had a movie pod for years. My first pod was a solo pod, but it was interviews. Taste Buds was Sal and me. I had a podcast with Kurt Braunohler called Emotional Hangs for a while that was about relationships and stuff. This is the first one I've ever done where 100% of the time, it is just me. I'm not saying you'll never see a guest on here, but this is not a podcast made for interviews. It is not built for that. It is not built to be themed in the sense of, we talk about music or we talk about pizza. Or we talk, it's very much designed to be a place where I can, in different ways, comment on different aspects of the culture.
That's what I felt like when I walked in here. It's like themed to Joe. I feel like I'm at your crib or something.
Yeah.
I'm at your house.
Yeah, the YMH did an the whole crew here, they're amazing. They did a really great job of bringing this all to life.
Did you pick these books? Are
I
those
didn't
yours?
pick them, but I said, can we just get a bunch of paperback horror books? And we did. So we got some good ones down there.
Nice. Dean Koontz.
Yeah, I think, sort of vintage horror books, the paperbacks from the 80s and 90s, they always look very cool. Yeah, so anyway, check out Violent Horrendous, the new pod. We're on set here. And you can find it on my YouTube at Joe DeRosa Comedy. You can also find it on the YMH YouTube. And subscribe to the YouTube. And live shows coming up. Go to joederosa.com for your tickets. I'll see you out there. I'll see you in here. Watch the pod. Come to the live shows. Let's eat.
Excellent.
Thanks, man.
And I'll see you tonight.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks, brother.
Thank you for watching The Dylan Joe Show. Please like, share, and subscribe.